Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. It's me here again. Okay, so I said I was going to be posting weekly. They were not lying. All the things I heard about this thing being very, very intensive, they were not lying at all. So yeah, let's go right into the video. What have I learned since I started classes? I'm going to be talking about three things: petroleum systems, the rock cycle, and the sectors in oil and gas industry. First off, we're going to be talking about the rock cycle. You may be wondering, what's the rock cycle? How are rock formed? First off, disclaimer, this is my own understanding of all I have learned. So if you disagree with what I have said or have a better opinion, you can always put it in the comment section. Oh yeah, back to the video. What is magma? Magma is a very heated rock. Down beneath the earth is liquid molten, that is rock, which solidifies to form a rock, which we all call igneous rock. There are three types of rocks, by the way. We have igneous rock, we have metamorphic rock, and we have sedimentary rock. The originator of all these other rocks is the igneous rock. So this magma beneath the earth's surface solidifies to form igneous rock. Sometimes it erupts to the earth's surface. That's when we see volcano happening. That's magma coming out of the earth's surface. And when this magma comes out of the earth's surface, it's then called a lava. Yeah. So when this lava solidifies on the earth's surface, it's now known as extrusive igneous rock. So the one that's solidified within the earth's surface is called intrusive igneous rock. Now this rock that has been formed can now start withering because of erosion, flooding. It can be anything. So that's withering, is parts of this rock breaking down, begins to break. So these rocks will now be carried away either by wind or by flooding or the erosion itself. It transports these pieces that has been broken down from this igneous rock to a new location and it deposits them. This process keeps happening for millions of years. So this deposition end up as one is deposited, another one is deposited on top of it, keeps depositing on top of it. So as it keeps depositing, it compresses. Either we call it cementation or compaction. I'll check that, I'll put it up there. So this compresses and forms a type of rock. And this type of rock is called sedimentary rock. It's formed from all the withered pieces of rock from the igneous rock. Now that we know what sedimentary rock is, let's move on to metamorphic rock. Now, what is metamorphic rock? Let's go back to our igneous rock. When this igneous rock withers, either by the erosion and what we earlier mentioned, it now becomes a new type of rock. After all these parts have been removed, all these edges and all of that have been removed, it now becomes a new type of rock. That new type of rock is the metamorphic rock. So an igneous rock can form a metamorphic rock. A sedimentary rock can also form a metamorphic rock because this sedimentary rock can also wither. So when it withers, the new rock that is there is a metamorphic rock. I hope we've understood the three types of rock: the metamorphic, sedimentary, and the igneous rock. Now we're going to move on to the second topic for today: petroleum systems. You might ask me, what is petroleum systems? This is the natural assembly which has the right condition for hydrocarbon to accumulate. This has three elements, which is the reservoir, the seal, and the source rock. Now, what is a source rock? Source rock is the rock where hydrocarbon is formed. It can be gas, it can be oil, but this is the kitchen where the hydrocarbon is formed. Now, what's the reservoir? The reservoir is the storage space where this oil eventually enters and gets stored. What is the seal? Seal is what stops the hydrocarbon from moving further. So if you don't seal it, it escapes. So this seal is a rock that just covers this hydrocarbon from escaping the reservoir. Now, we also have processes in these petroleum systems. We have the generation, the burial, the migration, the preservation, and the trap formation. Okay, what is trap formation? Trap formation is like the seal. It helps this hydrocarbon stay at a place. It traps this hydrocarbon at a particular space. What is burial? So hydrocarbon is formed by years and years of, we have fossil and other things burying. I want to say diagenesis, but I'm trying to explain it in the simplest form where I can. It's marinates. We have plants, different things marinating in the source rock. Like I earlier mentioned, where is the kitchen? So these things marinate. So the process for these things to process and become hydrocarbon, that process is the burial. Then we have migration. When this hydrocarbon is formed, it tends to want to escape. It doesn't want to stay in the source rock where it is initially formed. It wants to escape that source rock. That is what we call migration. So we can have a fracture which allows this hydrocarbon to leave the source rock to somewhere else where it will now be trapped. And then when we now drill the hole, we find that, okay, we have natural gas, or we have oil, or we have coal, or we have whatsoever we have, you find on the ground. Then the preservation is where it's stored. We understand that. I hope we now understand what I mean by petroleum systems. Moving on to the next one, the industry, the sectors in the oil and gas industry. We have three sectors. One is the upstream, the midstream, and the downstream. This is for people who want to work in oil and gas. It will really help you. So the upstream, these companies are just carrying out exploration and production. So they're the ones who go out to find where oil is and bring it out of the ground. We have the likes of Shell, now known as Renaissance, Chevron, ExxonMobil, etc. Just look them up, upstream companies in Nigeria and abroad. Now the midstream, they are more focused on transporting and storing this hydrocarbon that is found. They transport it and they store. So if you want to work in oil and gas firm, you have to now look for, okay, what am I interested in? Would I want to just transport and store, or am I interested in knowing how to find this oil and produce and drill it out of the ground? Finally, we have the downstream. This downstream, they refine and sell to consumers like you and I. Yeah. We have the likes of Rain Oil. We have lots of distributors of this hydrocarbon. I hope I've been able to impact one or two. like I said, I would always, I'm taking you all along this journey. By the end of this year, we are going to be big. We will be so thirsty to work in oil and gas firms, and I want to see most of you in the industry. So I hope you like this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and also subscribe. Thank you. Bye.